gangs all up there, but you know, it's a little bit of an opportunity to play like a chihuahua on the outside of a bunch of big dogs and, you know, pick off targets of opportunity. We've got a range heavy army still. It's getting pretty advanced, right? About 2/3 of our army is tier 4, tier 5. It's range heavy, of course, because we're hoping to participate in some larger battles. There's nothing else really going on, though. It's just this invasion by Valandia here into Sturgeon territory. Now, that's too big of a target for us to attack. But what are they doing, right? There might be a battle looming here. It looks like some Sturgeon forces are coming to the aid of Varcheg here. They just disappeared into the mist here at night. Well, we'll pursue, but of course we got to use caution. We could get cornered pretty easily at this stage. This part of the map, there's a lot of little narrow areas where it's not too difficult actually to get yourself in a jackpot. Our medicine skill, you know, it's maxing out as far as the focus points, right? We are pouring a lot of energy into the steward, medicine, and siege skills as usual. And where'd he go, right? This guy just disappeared. Now, there's combat there. I think they're... Okay. Oh, shit. 14, 1500, 1600? Wow, we got ourselves a situation here. The Valandians have 3 armies that look like are assaulting Varcheg, and they are being counter-assaulted here by pretty tough Sturgeon forces that are infantry heavy, right? Infantry and cavalry heavy. I think this is one of those situations you say, fuck it, especially in a campaign like this where I'm playing with my hair on fire. I keep using that statement. I'm basically just, we're shaking the dice, right? We're pressing all our bets here. We still haven't been captured, right? I understand if you're watching the first episode, that's a little bit of a spoiler, but you know, it is what it is. And let's, oh shit. Let's still interfere here. We're outnumbered 2-1. The Sturgeons have a lot of infantry, though. If we can get our archers in a good position, I don't have the right banners for this kind of a battle. I would love to have, you know, some decrease taken melee attack damage, but it is what it is. Let's do this shit. Yeah, this is a no, you know, it's a no stress campaign. Some campaigns I'd feel a lot of stress. Now, we'll see if and when we start getting attached to characters within the campaign, but Baron York, you know, almost the Antichrist of Bannerlord characters. You guys don't mind if he gets captured, right? So we're breaking our army up here. Of course, at the beginning of a battle like this, they just chuck you in with no ability to gather yourself or order your position. So we have 2 infantry divisions, 2 crossbow divisions, and 2 cav divisions, and we're just going to set up here in the trees. At least we have a lot of troops. I've been in battles like this before where the AI just hangs you out to dry. And the Valandians are barreling in, so we're going to move up here. We've got to support them, of course, early in a battle like this, because if they just crash test dummy against these Sturgeons, you know, they'll be decimated before we can make an impact. So let's fly in here, right? Let's get vicious. We're going to get aggressive. Fuck. There's a cavalry wing lining up to attack our forces. So, and these guys, I swear they look like they're charging us. Charge the Valandians. Leave us alone, man. Let us pepper you guys. Now, the 1st division, we're going to be holding fire and then, you know, letting them fire occasionally. That's our skirmisher unit. We've got about 15 wildlings, maybe. I can't remember exactly. The death spam, it's not terrible. The Valandians have some archers set up, so let's flank. This is actually a good situation for us. We can stretch out long lines here. That cavalry is a problem, right? We're going to have to deal with that. Fortunately, we have a handful of shock troops. We do have a couple of very small cav lines. I would love to have 30 or 40. I think we have 20. Fortunately, right now at least, they're ignoring our main posse as our archers get set up, which is good. They're firing downhill. We've got this ridge to play with here if things get ugly. They are sending some cavalry, but it's not like a material threat here. We can just push them back with our forces. See them being blasted by our archers and skirmishers. Out of my way, fellas. And let's start flanking hard here. These kind of battles can happen so fast. If you, the commander, hesitate, it's all over. 200 and... Damn, the enemy has a lot of infantry still. But we're uphill of it, and the Valandians are kind of on the other side. Now, they have cavalry rampaging all over the place. It's a chaotic battle, to say the least. But they're bringing up sharpshooters. That's good, right? And look at this angle. Now, we are just straight flanking their archers and their main infantry body now. What a beautiful spot. We've got that hill we can play with. If they charge us, we'll do a little kiting here. And we can separate these archer divisions, right? I might even do a couple separations and have 4 divisions. We'll see how this plays out. Now, of course, the Valandian cavalry is just sort of charging around mindlessly. They don't seem to have any kind of real tactic other than charge shit and attack. It just looks like a blob of retards. Apologies. Those of you out there who've got, like, you know, a disabled son, we're doing a little banter here. I'm not trying to make fun of the misfortunate. All right, let's continue to stretch out our arc here. Let's get audacious, right? We'll get almost behind the enemy. The archers, or the crossbow from the Valandians, are on the other side here, right? We're essentially creating a coordinated kill box here with the Valandians, with the assumption that, you know, if the enemy turns its wrath on us, I'll have enough reaction time here to be able to peel back. Now look at our skirmishers. They're beautiful, right? They're just lobbing in javelins. We've got companions in there scoring kills. That's going to be delicious. We're racking up skills here. Baron York is, you know, he's becoming serviceable as a spearman. He's spearing one shot in a lot of guys. Let's start pulling back. Look at that shit. A whole bunch of archers and skirmishers started heading our way. This is a very delicate balance because we want to be close enough to do damage, but not get enveloped by this 400 or 500 force of sturgeons. So moving up the hill here, we'll see what progresses with the other side of the Valandians there. And it's starting to get a little uncomfortable. There's just a huge wave of blue. It's just 639 infantry. Fuck. Back up, boys. Skirmishers are in good shape. The 6th Division is a mix of shock troops and skirmishers. Of course, I couldn't divide them like I would normally want to because it just threw us into this battle. The Valandians do have a bunch of heavy horse, and that really plays to our benefit here, right? The enemy is essentially being distracted by these chaotic cavalry charges. They're not really doing that much damage. I'm sure if we win this battle, we're going to do a lot of the killing. And of course, that is by design, right? I've been just harping on it this whole campaign. A ranged army early in a campaign. In this battle, if we win this will be the culminating example, right? We've got 80%, 70% ranged units. Maybe I have 30 or 40 total units without weapons that can be used at range. And this is where you need it, right? We're facing a giant amount of sturgeons. We're badly outnumbered, and your AI can never be relied upon. Now we got that ridge there we could peel over. We got a little bit of cover there. We might even be able to engage in a peekaboo ridge here if we're charged. Let's do a cav charge here. Let's try to make one assault here with the Valandians. I hate doing this, of course, because you can lose a bunch of your meat troops. We might need them. But the Valandians are boring in. Let's join them here, right? Let's show a little bit of patriotism. In we go, man. Fucking bring this cav right through the flank. It's chaos. It's beautiful death spam, though. Man, that looks good. Okay, let's peel out. They just turned right towards us, right? We're willing to attack them when they don't attack us. As soon as they turn on us, we're out of there. Now back those archers up. The fucking 5th Corps is moving in nicely, right? We don't want them super aggressive, but it's nice that they're just moving forward, shooting guys. I've got these 2 cav divisions we're going to use as screens, and let's take an inventory here. This is bad. So they did turn on us with some of their troops. Let's try cutting some of them off here, protect our units. Hurry up. God, sharpshooters move slow. If you're not familiar with that, of course, we're running uphill too. That doesn't help. Skirmishers are there. The 6th Corps is there. They can throw throwing weapons to help repel the assault. I don't see Valandians. I don't know about you guys, but the Valandian forces seem like they're starting to melt away. I mean, they have some cavalry. They have some forces over there, it looks like. A little bit of cavalry, but this is starting to turn ugly. And these are the kind of battles, if we were going to leave, it was going to be a little while ago, right? But now we got to fight it out. So these guys I'm just charging. There's a knot of infantry right here that we're going to charge briefly, kill what's here, and then get some space for our troops. Every once in a while you want to do these little sally charges where you obliterate a thick mass of the enemy troops. You see how the rest are sort of piecemeal here. Once these guys are annihilated, then you pull back, right? You start your kiting process. I don't see any Valandians over there at all. I just see a sea, an ocean of light blue sturgeon forces coming our direction. 4th, 5th. The 5th is almost out of ammo. Now, there's a few fiend champs in there, but the sharpshooters are all out of ammo, right? That division is going to have to be used offensively. We might even square them here. And it feels now like us against the world. I don't see any fucking help. we got going on here? I got you guys covered. I feel guilty as the commander, man. My guys are getting run down and shit. Get off my troops. Fucking militia. Yeah, it's just us. It looks like there's a smattering of landing cavalry that's, you know, it's kind of mingling with the sturgeons, but it's us now. This battle is going to hinge on our moves here. So let's start forming an arc here. We're low on ammo. That's a problem, right? We're going to have some hand-to-hand at some point. But we've got a kite up here. We've got to do a C formation. Look at this division just standing here. Let's use them, right? If they're going to just stand there with their shields, let's absorb some arrows. Let's prepare them for a charge. We have a shock troop division. We've got like 9 cavalry or something like that. We're just going to interrupt guys here while our troops find some distance. Hopefully we can you know, puncture some of these troops coming in with arrows. Avoid a lethal javelin here. Let's keep backing these guys up too. I'm just not ready for a major charge. There's way too many sturgeons downhill. And we've got ammo, right? We don't have to fight yet, right? We're the ones with mobility. We're the ones with the kiting distance here. We're controlling the initiative now. We're getting little individual units tangled up. There's too many units here to kite cleanly. But if we can prevent the majority of these sturgeons from bum rushing us, we got a shot here. God, there's a lot of them though. And the infantry's starting to eat up our cavalry. I'm using our cavalry here as screens. Quite literally, they're sacrificed, right? I gotta have somebody slow down these rushing sturgeons. Let's pull up here. We're approaching the edge of the map here. We're going to have to peel over this ridge. However, it will function as a quasi-peekaboo ridge. How many sturgeons are there? And of course, I'm not going to access the menu even for this campaign. We're going to keep your level of suspense high, right? I love close battles, and this looks like we've got a doozy. Come on, boys! Fucking Santa hat wearing sturgeons. The Santa hats always make me laugh. It looks like they're all auditioning to be Santa Claus, you know, where the kids sit on their lap and shit. These little sturgeon, I guess they're a hood or whatever. They look like a little Santa hat. All right, we've got a tight knot of troops. Let's start peeling over this ridge here. We're going to make our stand right here. That blurs me moving everybody over. I think I'm going to drag this cav division through. We need just a little bit of a repellent here. A little mosquito sturgeon repellent. Kind of drive some cavalry through here. Disrupt them a little bit. Break up their formation. Buy us a little bit of time. Some guys are getting mauled. That death spam is our dudes. I don't think there's any Valandians left. If there are, they're not going to help us, that's for sure. All right, we've got a handful of units with range left. We're going to be charging, making squares right at this ridge. It's a modified peekaboo ridge. Normally, peekaboo ridge is archers. Well, they don't have a lot of archers, right? They have infantry, and they're boring in, right? They're killing our guys as we speak. All right, let's spread out some lines here. We still got to pound them with ranged units. 4th, 7th, and 8th might have 2 minutes of ammo left. I got a companion on horse here. I don't remember putting that guy on a horse. It's all right, though. He's gaining skills. Okay, this line we're going to hold here. Charge these bitches. At least we have high-level infantry knotted up there. And pull that 6th in there while the square diverts. Fuck you, sturgeons. Santa hat wearing motherfuckers. Down you go, woodsman. All right, we've got a nice arc with our archers. It almost looks like a V defense. I'm going to defend here a little bit, right in the core. That infantry line is having some losses, but, you know, they're inflicting some too. God, we got a fucking doozy. Come on, man! And, of course, this spear, this is a big difference in a battle like this. Now the enemy has 200 troops, maybe? You know, you killing 10 or 20 at the end of a battle like this is the difference. Those skirmishers might have a few javelins left. God, they got cavalry moving in too now. What a fucking mess we got here. Oh, there's a lot more than I thought. Fuck. Archers. Well, the archers is my job, right? Because I can kill 2 archers, 3 archers every sweep. We've got like 4 or 5 knights still charging me too. So we can disrupt, we can distract, we can kill some line breakers. We've got 1 line of infantry charging. I hope that's not our guys routing. Don't run, boys. If we run here, we're fucked. No, don't run. Hold the line. God, in this kind of a battle, man, I would kill to have 4, 5, 6 of you from the channel, you enthusiasts, even the Patreon supporters, right? You guys playing with me. You'd be riding around, or maybe you got your two-handed guys saying, our line is breaking, charge the back. It'd be fucking amazing to have co-op Bannerlord. I think we got this shit. Their forces are starting to rout, not ours. Of course, we have higher level troops. That's probably a factor. Most of our army now is tier 4, tier 3. I don't know if we have any tier 2. Maybe we had a smattering. But this battle, I think, is over. I guess I better not call it yet. I still got half a health bar. Man, I'm gaining levels. This has been a highly advantageous situation for us. This hill has been essential. This Peekaboo Ridge here at the end. If we win, that's why. Like I was reaching for an arrow. Never a good decision. All right, charge these boys. All charge. They got 5 or 6 cavalry left. I think we got this shit. We still got guys shooting. And that's your Fiend champ. That's, you know, even if you have an army full of sharpshooters, you want some Fiends. That's a Lord. Die, Lord. Because those Fiend champs, of course, will have, you know, ammo at the very end of the battle. They're still shooting. Of course, some of our guys are picking up arrows. Oh, okay, that was almost death for me. We killed their Lord. Oh, man, a deep breath here because we won this nail biter. Man, what a fucking doozy of a battle. That was fucking thrilling. I mean, these battles are not common. I'm glad to be able to share this with you fellas. This was fucking fantastic. Now, the best battle I've ever fought, the most exciting, thrilling, awesome, epic battle I've ever fought was in the Aserai campaign. It was this 40-minute slugfest against the Khazate. It was extraordinarily close. I lost like 3 or 4 mounts. I don't want to, you know, blow the whole story because if someone's watching the Aserai campaign after this, you know, of course I don't want to tell you whether or not we lost or won, but it was unbelievably close. But these close battles are, this is almost, if you need one reason to play Bannerlord, it's a battle like this, right, where it's down to the wire. I mean, we have like 30 or 40 troops left at most. And this was a battle against 2,500 total troops, right? There was a huge amount of troops here, and our 20 or 30 guys have won the day here. What a fucking dramatic, incredible, bloody battle this was. Now, we're not out of the woods yet, right? We're still in hostile territory. Don't forget we're sieging the castle. Now, sometimes the castle is just yours, but I think there's militia, right? I think we'll still be in the siege process. Let's not, as to quote Pulp Fiction, right? Well, let's not start sucking each other's dicks quite yet, right? That we haven't quite made it out of here. But look at that shit, 870 kills. You know, so this is the mercenary stage, absolutely piling it up, right? I got 28 medicine points, 28 spear points. You know, our characters are mega powering, and our companions went nuts, right? Our companions, and I'm going to talk about leveling companions in the next few episodes because we're at that stage, right? We're starting to, frankly, we're starting to farm the sturgeons, right? They're like the equivalent of looters and caravan escorts early in a campaign. That's what the sturgeons are now filling the role of, right? Thank you very much, fellas, for providing entertainment for the channel and being farming for our future Lord York here. Now, not bad loot, but a little bit disappointing. Actually, that's not a bad piece. You know, some good loot, actually. I take it back. There's some lordly pieces and shit in here. But all of this is just, you know, this is just desserts unless we can get out of here. Look at this shit. 4, 3, 3. Usually the AI leaves the siege in a situation like that, but either way, we're in trouble here. There's 180 sturgeons there. There might be more coming. So Baron York is all about self-preservation. For some reason, that sturgeon force went the other way. That's incredible. 25, 34. Now we might have enough to fight him. What do we got here? He's got a mediocre army. Let's hold the line here, right? Let's show a little bit of allegiance. Fuck off, right? Oh shit. If he attacks us, though, we might get cooked. Get away from our lords, right? We're simping to all these lords because, of course, Baron York is not a baron. He wants to be a baron. And now I think we're out of the woods. 110, 140. He's not attacking us, but the question is do more sturgeons come, right? This is a very tenuous stage. And I would beat feet here, I think, if a huge army or even 2 or 3 more forces of 178 came over the hill. I could join them, but, you know, then you get, oh shit, chasing Valeric party, 180, 230, 280. We'll fight. I'm holding the line here still. I'm kind of hiding behind this army. Oh, he's fighting. They just randomly attack forest bandits. That was your AI's equivalent of squirrel. They just instantly, like a pit bull. Just, you know, it was attacking its toy, and you put your hand down there, and it ripped off 3 fingers, and the dog wagged its tail at you like, I did good, right? And you're like, fuck, I lost my fingers, chewing on your fingers, wagging its tail. You know, I'm torn here. I want to support these dipshits, but I can't believe they're still sieging. You know, Durthert was sieging forever earlier in this campaign. The Valandians are being very stubborn in this campaign. Usually when armies are that battered after a fight like that, they will break off the siege. But the enemy has no garrison left, right? It's only militia, because we destroyed it all. It all sallied out in that huge battle. Now we're just going to basically defend, hold the line here. You know, we're doing these guys a solid. I don't know if they would attack if we left. I just strayed a little bit away and they didn't attack. What the fuck happened? Lucan and the Northern Empire declare war. We're a long ways away, you stupid fucks. Fight the sturgeons or something else. I don't understand. I mean, as a mercenary, I'm okay with it, but it's strange. Of course, we're still toting that peasant around. That fucked village that resisted and killed one of our Fian champs. I took some... Lord York, Baron York took some peasants prisoner, right? So we're just toting this guy around, and he wants to join the army, right? He's like, I'll volunteer. Just let me out. And we're like, stay in chains, bitches. Do you remember that village where you killed a Fian champ? You get to follow us around here. Now, I don't think we have any My Little Warband units, right? I have the settings turned off, and of course we don't have any companion armies to recruit them. I might even be able to deactivate the mod. I'll probably try that in a future episode to make sure that the My Little Warband doesn't fuck with this campaign. It's not going to be part of this campaign. The only reason I leave it on is that, you know, I'm still playing a couple of these other side campaigns, a couple of the other challenges, you know, the perfect 400 army challenge is part of that campaign, etc. But we made it through the woods here, and after all of that anxiety and stress, now it kind of looks like we've got a quiet moment here. Make our way down, sell some prisoners, bitch slap Lucan here for attacking us at our most vulnerable moment here. But what an exhilarating battle that was, fellas. Huh? How about that shit? Hopefully you fellas are enjoying, and if this gets uploaded to YouTube someday, I imagine you fellas will enjoy that battle as well. Hopefully that's beneficial for you guys to see how to benefit your kingdom as a mercenary, and of course how to self-benefit. None of you bitches are going to attack me. I crush all you fucks. I'm going to sit here forever, I guess. It's bizarre. I've seen some bizarre behavior in this campaign. I don't know. I don't think we have any mods that are affecting this. These sturgeons are just sitting here. Look at that one army. That's a whole army, and they have 50 troops. They're building siege weapons and trying to siege it down. I guess we really want Varcheg here. Now, there's a silver lining here. I'm happy to be part of a defense force at Varcheg, right? That'll certainly be a castle, or excuse me, a city that I'm hoping to defend as a mercenary, right? Because we can get very, oh shit. You know, we're out here picking a fight, and a huge sturgeon army is coming here. I don't know if we can get away too. I can't tell if we're disorganized. We're encumbered. I mean, they've got some elite troops, but they don't have a lot of cavalry. That's sort of interesting. Now, we do have some scrubs, right? After that huge battle, we've been gathering some woodsmen and wood runners. After raiding a few more villages, you know, we've got some tier 2, tier 1 units. Now, Cargriv is a good village to defend. I think it's the village with the fishing net down by the river, right? There's a homeless guy in a van down by the river, and there's also a spot down by the river to annihilate some sturgeon forces here. It's heavy infantry and archers. I think this is an opportunity. I know a lot of players would be freaked out here running for the hills, but when you're playing a campaign with your hair on fire like this, right, we're doubling down every bet. We're like that guy in a casino where he just won $1,200 and he's like all on black, right? Just like The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg, which is a great movie, by the way, if you've never seen it. John Goodman, and just a great cast, great acting. An interesting storyline, too. we're gonna fight this sturgeon force here. A little bit of kiting here, right? This guy's on us like an attack dog because we're over here raiding his villages. I don't think he's big enough force to attack the army there at Varcheg. And so we're going to do the Valandians' dirty work here, right? Or at least we're going to attempt to. 136. We're outnumbered about 4 to 1. We still got that peasant. We might even name that guy. We're just going to drag around this Botanian peasant for a while for killing one of our Fian champs. But we're going to fight him here. Now, this is a problem. These other sturgeon armies, we've got to engage now. It looks like... So tell me who I fight. He sounds like Romanian or something like that. Romanian sturgeons. We could definitely lose here and I'll look like a dipshit, but if we win, it'll be glorious. So, right, for glory, right? Some of those units yell that shit. And it is. This is a great battlefield. This gives us a chance. We're not going to win in the open field, outnumbered 4 to 1. But with this battlefield, we could. Right? We can get archers over there. We can get 3 different... let's see. We got skirmishers, too. We've got some weak-ass shock troops. Of course, they'll just be... We will feed them at the right time. Basically, suicide them to distract the enemy. Our companions are leveling up, right? They're starting... This is amazing. We've had these companions maybe an hour and a half. And they already have, 2-3 levels. Of course, we've been putting them in great positions. That's another reason to play your mercenary stage like this, right? You can power level companions. And this isn't really the battle to do it, but I'm going to show you guys in the next episode or two. One of the most frequent questions I get on the channel is how to power level companions. How do you get companions high level? I'm going to show you fellas. You got to think outside the box. That stuff. We'll do a little teaser here. Even though these are Patreon episodes. I guess at some point these might be released on YouTube, and if they are, we'll do a little teaser here. How do you level up your infantry, right? It's hard. These guys are fighting hand to hand. They're getting knocked unconscious, especially in the mercenary stage. How do you do that shit? I'm going to show you fellas. Now, let's see. 2, 3, 4. That looks good. Shit. You can probably tell. I apologize. I mean, I want to keep playing, keep streaming, right? You guys demand content, and I'm trying to do this as a thanks to you Patreon fellas, but you can tell I'm a little bit under the weather still. I've had bronchitis now for 3 weeks, which is kind of like fun, only different. And, it killed the Pope. That's what killed the Pope, so I'm mindful of that. Of course, I'm a robust 50-year-old. I'm a lot more fit and robust than a lot of 20-year-olds in our today's society. But that's why if you hear me muting every once in a while, I'm stifling or getting a cough out of the way. And all I can say is, apologies, but it's also not my fault. I got some piece of shit virus that wants to fucking invade my lungs, right? So we got a little raiding virus here. So we're going to do the beat down and do some executions of our virus here pretty soon. Now, these archers here, eventually we're going to kite, right? But in the water like that, with this bit of a peekaboo ridge, and there's a peekaboo edge. I haven't really used that term a lot, but when you have an edge where the enemy has to come around it to get line of sight, to get infantry to you, it's a little bit like a peekaboo edge, because I've got a line of skirmishers, 3 lines of archers, and a crossbow division at point blank range, or very close range. They are going to get pounded before. And of course, some of the guys watching this, you might have seen us fight a battle in this kind of a village before. There are 2, maybe 3 villages in the game with this model, right? So you can defend this in multiple locations. This is one of them near Varcheg. It's called like Kargrev or something. Another one is in Sturgeon territory called Skala. Now, skirmishers there. I want these guys to be able to kite in the water, but I also want them close enough to throw javelins, because there is a horde coming. My horse can't get out of the river for some reason. That's worrisome. I don't know if that's a bug or what, but I could barely move there. I always like to kill the first guy through the, over the hill, just to give these guys a little bit of consternation. Of course, it's the AI. They don't give a shit, but we're role-playing. You give that first guy just a spear through the heart, and the rest of them, maybe they hesitate a little bit, right? Look, in fact, they're hesitating almost like they're role-playing along, right? The first guy gets a spear and just he lets loose a death quail, and the rest of them, maybe they're like, oh shit, because half of war is psychological, motherfuckers. Right? If you can terrorize the enemy, they don't want to fight. Now this is perfect. Look how bottled up they are. The crossbow in a good position, and now it's simply a matter of kiting, we're going to definitely charge with that infantry on one of their flanks, right? We're going to bore those guys in, but we're going to take our time getting to that stage, right? We're doing damage at range here, and they vastly outnumber us still. Fucking assholes. Look at all the javelins, right? And that's what that cav line is there for. Stick those guys up high. You know, guys always want to charge with their cavalry. They want to charge, get them into action, right? It's such an instinct. But in Bannerlord, with so many projectiles coming at your units, it's much better to have these guys holding a defensive line, absorbing javelins, playing a distractionary role while your ranged units, while your shock troops kill. Right? Eventually, the cavalry will be useful on offense, but right now, I just want these guys being tough. Right? Menace them, hold your shield up, absorb arrows, absorb javelins. Back these guys up. Now, a good human player and good real warriors would probably just ignore cavalry standing there holding their shield up, but we don't have that quite yet, right? Now, of course, if they ignore us, we charge their backfield, right? I would just drag these cavalry right through them. In fact, that's what I'm going to have to do here. We can get one skirmisher division behind these guys, but that's also archers. So while we're doing that, we're going to bring cavalry right through here. I'm going to cause a little carnage, even at this half speed as we trudge our way through the river. If we have units here, horsemen, right? These armored horsemen holding their shields, it'll cause a little bit of carnage in the river here and buy us a little bit of time. We can get skirmishers on their flank. I've got some weak infantry ready to charge. And the key to all of this is all just a magic trick to keep our archers safe, right? While they're busy with all these different parts, the charging cavalry, the skirmishers throwing javelins at them, and this infantry line of ghetto troops, right? We've got volunteers getting killed. Our archers are raking, right? Their infantry is haplessly chasing. Their archers are trying to find, a safe spot to shoot, and there's cavalry running all over the place. It's all about distract, obfuscate, right? We're going to confuse the enemy. We're going to occupy the enemy and then shoot them full of holes. Now, I got recruits in here. It's getting messy. Let's get that 6th back. The 4th Division, the crossbow, I just charged. They're out of ammo. Again, it's more distractionary forces. We've got our 40 archers around the edge there. We've got those skirmishers. We've got a chance to pull this shit off. The enemy's in the worst spot possible, right? They're deep in the water, and of course that is by design. We waited until they were waiting, right? We waited until they were waiting, and then we just pounded them from 3 flanks. Now it's just time to cut down these sturgeons. And, those crossbow are going to suffer heavy losses. They're all going to be annihilated, but, again, we're buying time. Once they're out of their bolts, they killed some guys, now they have another use. If I had, 30, I might square here, but not with, 15. And the archers are working, right? We've got a nice line. At this stage, we have similar numbers. And you know what, friends? I wait here just a second. Just in case someone's enjoying it. A little suspense. There isn't anymore. This fucking battle is over. Their whole infantry line is gone. We have better archers. We have better positioning. They're surrounded. We have cav running through here. And fucking victory. Right? And just 500 sturgeons eat shit. And we didn't just win again, man. We obliterated this force. We got lots of troops left. And you see why they're routing. They're facing Fiend champs. And Fiends and other archers, they could still go hand to hand, right? If they wanted to fight more, we're ready to fight more, right? This battle is over. And almost as soon as I said that and was ready to celebrate, they turned to charge. But you see what we're dealing with now. It's a trickle of infantry. It's archers. In fact, they just changed their mind again. Sometimes the AI will waver. Usually when it wavers, unless you pull back and make a mistake, although here they come again. It doesn't really matter at this stage. Look at the power bar. It's all over now except the farming, right? We can cut down this little woodsman here, this Santa hat, spear a couple of these guys on the way out, do a little bit more farming, and wrap this shit up, right? I will be speeding through the end of episodes. Of course, if this was your own campaign, you might cut down every single guy in every single battle. I'll do that from time to time just to add a few more skill points, but the way we're playing this campaign, it doesn't matter that much, right? Rack up some one-handed skill points. Now, I don't know why the battle's not over. Our guys are charging uphill. For some reason, they got some cowards up here. I guess these guys were in the rear with the gear. And they're running off now. Man, this is strange. They had like 8 or 9 cavalry. I wonder if there's a lord up here we can ignobly spear in the back. Never present your back to me. Not only do you get speared in the back, but everybody knows then you ran like a coward. And what a couple sequence of events, right? Just a couple village raids, that huge monstrous battle against the Sturgeon force here. And we are just single-handedly devastating Sturgia here with our mercenary force. 100 and whatever guys, and we're just battering the shit out of the Sturgians. The day's ours! We showed them! Beautiful. And some significant losses here. And I mentioned this before, we're still not out of the woods, right? These Sturgeon forces might attack. In fact, what's this shit? How come... Why do they have forces left? I'm tempted to fight these guys. If we auto-resolve and lose 20 troops, we might be killed by the other forces here, so we're just going to do this really quick. This should take 20 seconds or so. Can't afford to lose like 10 Fiend Champs to an auto-resolve. We'll probably lose a couple guys at most. And we had one death. We'll take it. A huge amount of influence and other things. In fact, we gained troops there because they had a couple prisoners. And what another, just a beautiful situation for us here. We're going to continue to push the envelope here, right? This campaign, again, is just foreplay to a bigger campaign. It's a little bit like the Aserai campaign. We're building the characters here. We're building the story. But hopefully we can do so. My goal on the channel, right? My goal with this campaign, with other campaigns, is to build up campaigns, is to build storylines, is to give you guys tactics that benefit you guys that you can use in your own campaign while still being entertaining, right? We don't want to be that guy from, look at this shit, instead of attacking me, they attack looters. You guys are just bullies, huh? You only pick on the weak, and they have no interest in me. I suppose after watching 500 something sturgeons getting obliterated, discretion is the better part of valor here. These sturgeons are like, yeah, you know, I'm good. These looters here, look, we'll attack them, right? These looters, we got to protect these villagers from these looters. And then they left alone this menacing lion. In fact, they're all just scattering like little chihuahuas when our force comes by. We're outnumbered here, but of course we have elite troops, or at least good troops. And they want no part of us. I'm surprised they didn't attack us together. It's over 200 sturgeons, but that just shows you Baron York, the reputation is starting to spread, right? This guy starting to maul people. Now, we have no chance of catching guys. We got a herding penalty. I'm still hoping to participate in this siege. These fucking... Oh, this guy would catch. I didn't think we'd catch this guy.
I'd wish you peace.
Or this gal. I'd wish you peace. Well, we don't wish you peace. Come with us, right? We'll just... handle this shit quick. We'll fight a few of these out still, especially when we're in this highly vulnerable stage. Right now, of course, we're pinned in between these narrow valleys here. Forces came up on both sides, and we were careless here. We get captured, right? There are times to auto-resolve, and there are times like this where you don't need a lot of tactics, right? We've got an archer-heavy army. You know, we're going to blaze through this. This will be a maximum couple minutes. And you do this to avoid casualties, right? If we fight this, and again, this will probably be the last time I harp on it, because I have harped on it a lot. I guess our characters here are all knocked unconscious, and so they don't remember what division they are part of. They all got amnesia, Jason Bourne style. Hopefully they don't start attacking me. But this kind of a battle here, again, for the last time. If you auto-resolve this, you lose 20, 30, 40 troops. Look at the power bar, right? It's kind of close. Or if you F1, F3 this battle, you lose 20, 30 troops. Here, hopefully, with just very base tactics, we lose, you know, 5, 3, something like that. Now, this battlefield is really cool, and I almost never play on it, of course, because it's way up on the way to Revel, right? This is not a landscape that sees a lot of action, which is a shame, because it's a really interesting battle map. The enemy looks like they're hiding up in the hills. Maybe they got Wormtongue as a commander. They got their sack of meal, and they're running up into the forest. I mean, they can run, but they can't hide, right? And this is one of the beautiful things about a ranged army. This is also why ranged armies need to be nerfed. They got a whole bunch of infantry up there, and we got lots of archers. They have no chance, right? We're just going to shoot them, and we'll shoot them to death if they don't come down, or they're going to break formation, charge us, which will just expedite their disastrous battle here. Now, of course, the real reason why archers need to be nerfed is that cavalry gets destroyed by them. I know a lot of players, you know, still suffer a lot of losses or even maybe lose to a cavalry army. But with some tactics, some separation, some protection like we show on the channel on a regular basis, you know, you're going to plow through cavalry as well. Even just spreading out 2 or 3 lines of archers in a ring against cavalry, spread out, different locations, you will obliterate cavalry with archers. And of course, you know, it's supposed to be a little bit of rock, paper, scissors, because we all know that archers are great for siege defense as well. Well, you can't have it be that, you know, archers defeat infantry and infantry defeat cavalry or whatever, and cavalry defeat, you know, nothing, defeat their lord that hired them. Cavalry need to be boosted. The bottom line is spear cavalry, and what I'm referring to, need to be boosted, and archers need to be nerfed. Not a lot, right? They could just reduce archer damage 30%. 40%, and that would require both combat tactics and make archers, I think, reasonably balanced if they were reduced 30%. Now, alternatively, you could reduce Fiend Champs just significantly too, right? Or at least maybe even in conjunction with that. Like Fiend Champs, maybe you give them 160 two-handed skill, so they'd still be right there with like a Palace Guard as far as weapon skill. But they don't need to have whatever it is, 240, 220 two-handed, and 260 archer skill. They're just absolute beasts in every single category. And the same thing could be said about the Cons Guards. Or you boost the heck out of spear cavalry, right? Make Imperial Elite Cataphracts lethal. So if they spear you and you're not ready for it, it does most of your health, right? Stuff like that. And it was just trolled right through this gal. Come with us. There's a growing line of sturgeons held captive behind our army here, and you know, I'm trying to keep these episodes a manageable chunk, right? So you can bite them off and watch them maybe at your lunch hour, or maybe guys watch these in the afternoon after they get home, have a little meal and watch some Tactical Enlightenment. And I'm going to wrap this episode up by saying again, I appreciate you fellas. Thank you for welcoming me into your life. You know, it's an honor, and I really appreciate it, right? We're making a little bit of coin. It's pretty paltry money. But someday it might be more than paltry money, and of course that's part of the objective, right? It's long term, to see if this is a viable hobby job. I don't need to make a lot. My goal is to make, you know, $800, $1,000 a month. We're about halfway there right now. So if the channel doubles or triples in size, right, I've got a nice little retirement gig here. Fart around a little bit when my wife doesn't want to see me anymore. I can go play a little Bannerlord. So again, I appreciate you fellas, and of course, with all that said, right, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching this on Patreon, I appreciate your support. Every once in a while, put your fellas' names in lights, right? We'll do some credit here down the road. We may have characters named after Patreon supporters. In fact, I might have a whole tier of Patriot support for guys who really want to be more involved in the campaign, in a role-playing effort. Maybe even give me some ideas for campaigns. All right, so with all that said, of course, you want to subscribe if you want to see more, friends. Please hit that like button if this is on YouTube. And with all that said, I will see you, friends, next time.